What's up, America? Welcome back to another video on Monsters. Today, I'm sick. I've been sick for like the last 3 days, okay? So take it easy on me. What the heck is the chicken doing? When you're sick, there's not much you can do without crying. Anyway, today I'm gonna make a video on everything we've done this year that I can think of. Yeah, and if you guys are new to the channel and you wanna help support our farm channel, please consider subscribing. It'll help the channel out a lot. I'm trying to get to, I don't know, 100,000 this year. It's possible, we can do it. We just hit 1 million views on our top video. That's pretty cool. Well, anyway, stay tuned. If you guys want to see any videos in 2023, let me know. Happy New Year and Merry Christmas. Honestly, I don't even know where to start. We've done so much this year. We did all the excavation and backfilling for this big 120 by 50 foot steel barn. We finished it probably like a month ago. We're just building this huge 45 by 16 foot tall timber frame wall, and that's going to separate the heated part from the cold storage. Over here is the cold storage. Everywhere we have a 6 to 7 inch slab and 2 foot frost walls. The building in the center is 20 feet from the floor, and then on the sides it's roughly 18, so there's not much of a pitch. It's hard to see now because everything's covered in snow and ice, but we put this little road in right here. We put this road in right here that wraps all the way around the steel building. We put all these little drain pipes in for the gutter. There's also all the under drains and everything around the foundation, so that just keeps the water off the foundation and puts it into our little pond down here. But yeah, we put all this road in. We put this ditch in over here, so we plow all the snow right there. It all melts into the ditch. There's a ton of water that comes down by the round bills, and it basically just dumps right here. So instead of going on the road, it goes in the ditch, goes all the way down to a 40-foot culvert we put in, and then it crosses underneath the road and then goes into our little pond. We call it the pigeon pond. Right here is our parking lot. We put this in. We put this ditch in right here to catch the water from the parking lot, and then there's a ton of runoff, from the parking lot. So it all just dumps over the hill, goes into this ditch for now, and then it'll go into the pond. We still have to grade all over there on that side of the parking lot. We're just going to store the gooseneck, the horse trailer, and our other trailer over there for now. I made this side for the dump truck. So this is our little pigeon pond we made. So we have the under drain from the root cellar coming in. Those pipes right there, those are for the under drain of the steel building and for the gutters. This pipe right here is the overflow. So when the pond water gets to a certain level, it overflows into that. It runs roughly 200 feet under the cow pasture. And just dumps out into a swale that goes into the main swale, and then it goes to the street. My brother cleaned up all the junk around the silo, and it looks great. We put all this paddock fencing in. It's all 2x4s with cedar posts pounded in the ground with our excavator, so it's really, really strong fence. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 gates. We put a new tarp on the cow barn for the second time. In here is our root cellar. We're not done with it, but we put these beams up, we put the posts up, floor joists for the floor upstairs. We're going to timber frame upstairs. Some mold in here right now. We don't have any ventilation yet. That's a spring project, but the mold hasn't been growing in the winter, which is nice. And then we're going to put a sub panel right there for the power in the root cellar, just for ventilation fans, lighting, and I don't know what else we'll need. Outside of the root cellar, we built all these rock walls with the excavator, the E60, and I think it looks amazing how it came out. Like I said, in the root cellar, we put this whole floor on. It's a 20 by 50 foot floor. We're going to put a timber frame on top of this. That's the next project. It's going to be our kitchen where we store all of our beef in freezers and chicken and possibly turkeys, pigs, whatever else we produce on the farm in the future. We also built this whole wall right here out of 2x6s. We were going to stick frame it, so we built a 2x6 a 16 in center wall, but now we're doing a timber frame, so we don't really, it doesn't really do anything, but it's just a really strong wall. This whole fencing project all over the farm, we started in the fall and kind of finished in the spring of 2022. So I'm just going to include this in the video. We extended out the log yard. This was a hay field. We pushed it back so we can put all of our logs. Everything is kind of everywhere right now. We're waiting for the electrical to be done in the barn so we can put all of our stuff in there. Obviously, you guys know our sawmill. We built this in January and finished in February. In 2022, we milled over 14,000 board feet of lumber. This is our slab pile. It's really not that bad for 14,000 board feet. We try to get every, bit of wood we can out of the slabs so we don't waste any. We built a little lumber yard here and down there. We did so much fence work in the end of 2021 to 2022. We replaced 53 posts and 32 crosses. Let me show you what we did. We redid this whole fence line, put a 90 in. We put this post in. New. We replaced this old 2-strand fence with a 5-strand. This is all new. New. We took out this fence line right here and we moved the fence. We used some of it here and we used a lot of it over there. We put this little water line in for the cows so they can have water like 500 feet away from that hydrant. Replace that cross. New. We took down an old 2-strand fence all right here and we replaced it with a 5-strand electric fence. New. We cleared this whole fence line right here. Every tree that was in the way we took out because before you couldn't even drive anything through there. You had to drive all the way from the sugar shack all the way to here, stop, go all the way around the whole fence line, all the way up the street, all the way over there, down that fence line to go to there. And there's a huge ditch over there, so it's a pain. We replaced that shutoff down there. We reinforced this entire fence line that goes all the way down to our farm. So when we put our reels up to do mob grazing, we can pull on the fence and it won't rip the whole fence down. So there's one probably every 150 feet. Yeah, there's a lot. We tapped into this water line that runs all the way from the cow pasture all the way up here. It has to be over 1,000 feet, definitely. And then there's another water line that you can actually see. It's so weird. I don't know why you can still see it. So it runs all the way down that mark going up that hayfield right there. There's another, well, there used to be a hydrant there for when they were farming sheep, but it's not there anymore. But we still have the water line that runs all the way down there. So that shutoff right there shuts that line off, which is, that's amazing. We can get water over there from this spring. This spring could power our whole farm. We finished the swale. That was huge. Oh my God, that took so long. But we dumped all the dirt here. We filled in this massive ditch right there. So now that's all filled and you can drive over it safely. And we also filled in this huge ditch right here. You can kind of see it's still there over there, but you can still drive right here. We built all these little fences around our hydrants so the cows don't rub up against them. That was my dad and my brother's project. So yeah, nice and strong. We replaced that cross, all new. We put in a 500 and something foot water line that runs from that hydrant down there and then all the way over there to another hydrant, and then it goes to the left and tees into that 1,000 foot plus main line. I don't remember if we did this in 2021 or 2022, but I dug this trench right here that goes all the way down here. So all the water that comes off, or all the runoff that comes off this hayfield, goes into the ditch and then funnels all the way down, and then it goes over there. There used to be a ditch there that goes to the swale, but when we dug the water line, I guess they never put it back. So I'll have to see what happens there. But the main swale runs from there all the way down to the street, way over there. New, kinda new. This fence line, new. This water is always flowing. It's all under drain and overflow from the building. And all this whole swale is new. All of this from the fence line, probably from there over, is all fill. Most of it's from the building. Some of it's from the little lumber yard we built when we dug into the ground. And then some of it is from when we dug the swale. We just dumped the dirt right here and over there. In 2023, I'm going to fix this hill so it's not as steep, and I don't know, it just looks a little bit nicer. Then we'll seed it. Kind of new. We replaced that cross. We moved this and we replaced that cross and that cross. We spent a couple days digging out every rock we could find in that field, and there were so many. I started wiring the horse barn in 2021 and I finished it in 2022. We ran power from there to there and there to here. I put stone here because there's always mud and water, but now it's always dry. I put that culvert in right there, and we made a little road that goes to that gate so you can gain access to this pasture. We replaced that culvert right across the street over there because it was really old, it was falling apart, and there's pretty much no culvert anymore. So we replaced that, now water can flow and it doesn't go on in the street. We got some new poles. new power to the steel building, and yeah, we spread 18 loads of manure across the street. We also spread nitrogen fertilizer on our hay fields, okay for organic farms. Then we no-till seeded red and white clover, tall fescue, and perennial ryegrass. We built this 30 by 96 foot hoop house. There's 2 layers of poly and very nice hoop house. It's the nicest hoop house I've ever seen. It has power in it, water in it, and yeah, it works great. I wired the whole hoop house, brought power out down to that end wall, and we have automatic vents. We have a blower fan to inflate between both layers of poly and a light. We ran water all the way from the house to the hoop house, so now we have a frost-free hydrant in the hoop house. So whenever we need water, we have enough water from a 1-inch line at 60 PSI. There's so much water. I mean, wow. We built our egg layer chicken tractor, which just abuts the hoop house. We also built 5 meat chicken tractors, which are at the Sugar Shack right now. I love this chicken tractor right here because you can just pull it up to anything. It goes right up to the hoop house. We open the doors so you can get right inside, shovel some snow out of there, and yeah, they have a really nice place to be. We hayed that field over there, this field over here, and the field over there. We got 2 cuts out of it, and I don't remember exactly how many bales we got off the top of my head, so I'll put it in the video. In the fall of 2021, when we were done haying, we dug every rock we could see, well, mostly every rock we could see, out of all the hay fields here. So in the spring, we had to back drag everything, put dirt in a lot of the holes, and then we had to seed everything. And that took a long time because a lot of the fill we used had rocks in it, so we had to pick out every single rock we could see out of the fill so our mower doesn't hit it. Before we put all this in, there's just a fence line right here, and it made no sense because there's a gate right there. So to drive down Route 89, we call it, you have to go on the hay field just to go to the Sugar Shacks. Now you drive down 89, you come around this corner, right through this gate, you're at the Sugar Shack without even going on a hay field. So that's nice. Everything you see here is new. New cross. We cut this whole brush line back because when we brush hogged, it was just so tight. So now that makes it a lot easier. Okay, so right here is the weirdest fence fix we ever did. There's a huge piece of like ledge right here, a big boulder or something. So that post was just pulling out of the ground. It was barely in. We had to fix it in a weird way. We were able to put a cross there, and then we couldn't put a post there because it's just a rock right there, and we didn't have something to span that far. So instead, my dad had a great idea of putting a cross down into the ground, piece of rebar, put another cross up, so they kind of push against each other. So when you tension the fence, it pulls this way and tightens that. I don't know, it works. You gotta love this view. I mean, look at that. Look at the cows way out there, grazing on snow. So nice. Actually, in the summer, there was 18 deer across the street. I have a picture of it. It was amazing. So remember when I was up there earlier, I said that there's a water line that came down this field and you could see it? Well, you can see it. It comes right here, and it comes right around here. You can see a little piece of metal right there. So that's where we think it goes. So one of my projects is going to be just to clean up this area. I don't know why we didn't brush hog it. And then build a little fence around it, put a hydrant in. So we have water here if we need it. But also, we don't have to worry about hitting it because there'll be a fence around it. So in the winter of 2021 and the spring of 2022, we split a good amount of firewood. Not too bad. Actually, we bought this stuff, but we split all that. And then we stacked some in our woodshed. And we also built this fence around my mom's little garden right here. When we ran the water line from the house, we also ran an electrical line, I forgot to mention, all the way down here to the hoop house. But when we ran the water line, we put a hydrant in. So now we have water right here. As you can see, we've never used it. Over the summer, we raised and butchered 91 Cornish cross chickens for, eating. And they taste amazing. And they fertilize the heck out of our hay field. So I'm really excited to see what that hay turns out to be like. I already showed you the chickens over there in the chicken tractor. We kind of pasture them on the hay field, the cow pasture. So they're always moving. They're 100% free range. They can go wherever they want. They can go in the mountains over there if they wanted to, but they stay pretty close to the chicken tractor. They really like the shade line all right there for the cows. We got this Bobcat T62 in 2021. We put roughly 400 hours on it in 2022. We replaced that cross right there. So when my dad was in Italy, we built these little sliding doors right here. They're great. They over and underlap each other, so they're not in the way of anything. They're pretty big, and it's all our own lumber. Overall, for the cattle, we brought 3 cows to the butcher. We brought our bull Eddie, we brought Meg, and then we brought a cow that actually got hurt. And then we sold one of our cows to the Natick farm, which is where I kind of grew up, where I learned everything about farming. And shout out to Casey and everyone that works there. I would definitely not be here if it wasn't for the Natick farm. We also had 11 calves. We had 8 bulls, which are now 8 steers, and we had 3 heifers. Calving was one of the most amazing experiences I've ever experienced. So the first calf we had, I woke up at like, I don't know, 3 in the morning. I walked outside right here by the silo, went through this gate, and right in front of me there's a cow standing there. And it was so dark out, I couldn't see anything. So I put my flashlight on my phone, looked over, and there's a cow right there, and underneath her were these 2 little eyes that are kind of glowing from the light of my flashlight. It's 3:46 a.m. Just brought the cow in the cow barn. Or the calf, it's a bull. Marcel came out at 12, and I came out at 3, so we missed something in between the whole birth. Wow, I am wet. And my brother's first experience with the calf, I think it was his first. He walked outside, went through that gate, and there's a calf over here. The calf was right over here in the mud. So it took Marcel and I to get the calf out of the mud and then try to walk up the really, really muddy hill. And Marcel kept falling and I kept falling, and we finally got the calf up into the cow barn, dried off, and we did not think the calf was going to make it because it was so cold, it was shaking. But surprisingly, it made it, and we call him Trooper. We had to replace half of this wall because the cows just knocked it right out. And we put a 4,000-pound block there that's now frozen, so now they can definitely not get through that wall. Maybe they can. I hope not. Another thing I did is I wired this whole cow barn. There's not much. There's just an outlet over there, some lights, another outlet here. So now I want to show you guys all the equipment we bought this year. We had a lot of fun looking for a backup tractor. We looked at so many different tractors and we decided to get a 4230. It's around 100 horsepower on the PTO. And it has so much power when we're mowing, it doesn't even bog, it's amazing. So right here is our headlock. So one of our cows got hurt, we had to put the cows in, so that's a farm purchase. We've had to buy that just for safety of the cows and safety of us. So we can check them if they're hurt or if they need help calving or anything. Well, I'm not gonna not show you guys my truck, come on. Another farm purchase was this Toro ride-on mower. It's actually cheaper to get a sit-down one. So we got a sit-down one. I think my dad put like 20 hours on it mowing the lawn. Over here we have our Krone Swadro. It's a 42T. I did not know that, but it's a 42T. Says it right there. What the heck? We bought this from a guy down the street who was just selling all of his haying equipment. He was just getting out of the business and got it for a good deal. It's an amazing rake. It's such good quality. I mean, look at the steel on this thing. We also bought that snowblower right there. That's like a pretty new purchase. We just got that. Our friend was selling a little lift, so we went over, checked it out, and we bought it for less than 2,000 bucks. It's 1997, I think. When you call him Gino, Gino's the man. He can get all the way up to the ceiling. He helped us build the wall. And then for my brother's birthday, we bought a gator. He's always wanted a side-by-side or something, so we were like, hey, we should just get a gator because we're gonna use it on the farm. Yeah, you got a little accent right there. And then we bought this chainsaw right here. It's a Husqvarna. It's a 572 XP. It's a great machine. It has so much power. It rips through anything. Way better than their little one. 269 hours and 7 months. Or no, less, because we've been here for 7 months, but we got in like 5.
Probably 5 months.
Yeah, 5 months. So overall, it was an amazing year on the farm. It's like someone's been busy. Wow. Look at all those chicks. Everything I've said in the video doesn't even include brush hogging or any other little projects that we've done. Luckily we have the machines and the equipment to do it, and yeah, learn a lot from it.